Becoming a content creator is on everyone's to-do list right now. But what does it take to get there? Do you need a professional microphone and a fancy camera with a gimbal, something kind of like this? Or can you get away with just using the phone that you have in your pocket? That's what we're gonna figure out. What's going on, you guys? My name is Daniel. If you don't know me, I am here to kind of help guide you in the right direction, show you what things you may or may not need in order to become a content creator or a YouTuber. And it doesn't matter what kind of style you want to do. I'm hoping to kind of touch base on all of them, whether it's YouTube content like this, where it's more long format, or short form vertical content like shorts or TikToks. And that's what I want to talk to you guys about today and help you figure out what you do and what you don't need and what things might be beneficial in order to help you get there. So let's get into it. The first thing you kind of need to determine before you go out and you start buying anything is what kind of content do you want to make? Do you want to make TikToks, shorts, Instagram reels, things like that? Or do you want to do talking head videos kind of like this one here? Or are you wanting to do something a little bit more cinematic and a little bit more professional? That one we're not going to cover a whole lot because it's a lot more expensive and doesn't really fall into the category that this video is going to. Nonetheless though, I think a lot of the stuff that I will cover in this video will apply kind of funneling down and into all the different aspects of it. The reason I'm just not particularly covering cinematic stuff like that is because one, the price, and a lot of people aren't really moving in that direction, and it's kind of more of a specialized niche one. You can get away with filming more dramatic style, better looking content with something simple like this, but when we're talking about like something like the Sony FX3, that's not going to be covered in this video. So yeah, let's say you want to do something short form, whether that is TikTok, Instagram Reels, YouTube Shorts, something like that. All you really need for being able to do that is something like this, like your phone. You don't need a big expensive camera, anything like that, just because of the fact that most of these places like Instagram and TikTok only allow you to upload into 1080p formats, and you're really losing a lot of that quality and a lot of the reason for a professional grade camera on those sites, just because of the fact that you can't use all that quality. Yes, you may see some content creators out there that are using this type of equipment and it does look good, but they're maxed out on the quality. And unless you're really making a lot of money and that's something that you want to go into, I would just use your phone that's in your pocket. They do well enough in order to be able to meet all the standards and do what you want to do on those platforms. With that being said though, if I did have some things to recommend in order to help you elevate your content that you are filming with your phone, there are a couple of things that really stand out to me that could help make your content better. The first one is some sort of gimbal, kind of like this, where you can do all sorts of different things and help keep that shot that you're filming a lot more steady and be able to make it just a little bit cleaner, a little bit more professional. And the other thing that I would recommend is if you want to have voiceovers or you're talking to people in those types of videos, I would recommend something like these DJI mics that you probably saw in the intro. They aren't super expensive. They come down a little bit in price now that the second generation is out. So I would really recommend picking them up. They do have iPhone and USB-C plugs on them in order to help meet those devices, and you can carry them on if you want to use a more professional camera, kind of like the setup that I have here. That's actually what I am recording this video on, the audio. As you can see here, it is coming through the DJI mic, and I think it sounds pretty good, especially after I put it through and do a little bit of audio editing to remove some noise and kind of fix just how I want it to sound. Other than that, there isn't a real lot that I would recommend for short form content that you wouldn't plan on using on something a little bit bigger unless you have the budget for it, which that can kind of divulge into what I'm going to be talking about in the YouTube content. When it comes to creating content in a long format, kind of like on YouTube or other similar websites, there are a lot of different options that you can use. You can range from using something like your phone, and especially on a gimbal, to all the way up to the Sony FX3 like I mentioned previously. But with that being said, when you are doing long form content, I would recommend using an actual camera just so you can actually get that higher quality video out of it and be able to do a lot more with the footage that you filmed. And the one camera that I would recommend for entry level is the one that I'm actually using here. It is the Sony ZV-E10, and I currently have it on the Ronin RS3 mini gimbal. I bought this just because of the fact that I was planning on doing more overlanding style content and not really talking head, but I'm just using it as a tripod for now. We may see what happens, but you don't need this whole setup. I would recommend just going with the camera because the quality that you get out of it is absolutely phenomenal, and it is a absolutely great place to start. I also do use the DJI mini mics or mic minis, whatever they're called, for the audio in these videos because I like the way that they sound. I like the flexibility of them just because I can get up, walk away from the camera, and not have to worry about the audio sounding any different. I would maybe move to something like a Rode boom mic or something that can be mounted to the camera if you're planning on doing more vlogging style, just because the DJI mics are a little bit more difficult to kind of get set up at times, just with having them mounted, trying to get them out of the frame, things like that. I think it would just be easier with a shotgun mic or boom mic, whatever they're called. I do also actually like having the gimbal. It is nice to have the flexibility to move the camera around, walk around with it, do different types of shots with that. But it isn't something I would recommend right off the bat unless you are planning on doing content that involves you walking around, like vlogs or overlanding, things like that. If you want to do more talking head, I would just find a nice cheap tripod that fits your camera and use that for the content that you want to film. Like I said, I'm not going to touch a whole lot on the super cinematic side of videography just because I don't feel like I have the knowledge in order to share that with you guys where it would be very beneficial. And I think that a lot of people just starting out don't really have the budget for it. So if that is something you are looking at, I would maybe try and find a more advanced video than this one. But with that being said, these are the things that I would really recommend. If you're doing short form, I would use your phone, and if you really want to get a little bit more advanced at that, I'd get the gimbal and maybe some microphones. And when it comes to long form content like YouTube, I would use an actual camera and either a tripod or a gimbal, whatever best suits the needs on the types of videos that you want to make, and just make sure that you have good quality audio to go along with them. Something like the DJI mic or a desk mic, something like that, just to help elevate the quality of your content with the quality of your sound. All of these things that I've mentioned are linked down below, and I really would recommend checking them out. They are affiliate links, but I don't really plan on getting any money back from them. So if you guys do want to check them out, click the links down below. Let me know what you guys think. I hope that this video kind of helps some of you guys that are just starting out find what things that you may need or want in order to get started. It doesn't need to cost you a whole lot. Aside from the gimbal that this camera is on, I think I spent about $800 total in the camera, the microphones, and the lens that I have on here. So it doesn't take a whole lot to get there. So whatever style of content it is that you want to make, I would jump into it and start at least with your phone, see kind of how you feel about it, and move up from there on determining what style of content it is that you want to make and figure out the things that you'll need. So if you guys have any comments or questions, let me know down in the comment section down below. I will try my best to help answer those questions and get you guys pointed in the right direction. But with that all being said, I hope you guys did enjoy the video and found it helpful. If you guys would, hit that like button, leave a comment on what your favorite part of the video was or what things I can do to make this better or questions. And if you would like to stick around and see more content from me, hit that subscribe button, and I will catch you all in the next video.